nearly now at the halfway point of the first quarter of the EU Gears Pro League. My name is Chris Tunn, and I'm here with Fru, and we're excited to see the accumulation of everybody playing everybody at this point. So we've only got a few 2 games today, and then everybody I said would have played everybody. 2 good games though. We're interested by them this week. Last week's games, I don't want to say caught us off guard. Game number 1 definitely did, with Obey Alliance beating Rated R, but then EU's Finest definitely looking a lot better than we thought they would after what we've seen in week number 1. So now, as I said, we're at this point through where everybody's playing against each other, and we can sort of get a good lay of the land of where everybody's at, and that's what we're going to find out after the end of this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? It's Judgment Day for the teams here. They're at the halfway point. They've got to make their name known, and for every team across the board, we're all even, right? So it's that time to make their name known, to shine in the European Pro League.
Yeah, and we will at least have a definitive first place at some point this week. I think, firstly, though, let's talk about our first matchup. It is going to be EU's Finest against Obey Alliance. Yep. Obey Alliance getting a fantastic win against Rated R last week. A really, really close game, and that's what's actually led to them being bottom of the actual standings as we currently do have them there. As said, everybody's got one win apiece, 1 loss. So, it's one of these things where it starts to work into maps won, and then it goes to round differential, etc., etc. Yeah, so that's how we are where we are.
We're 3 tiebreakers deep, right? So
yeah.
It's basically all even. After this, obviously, it'll probably go on points. We're hoping it'll go on points at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's only a couple of rounds, as you can see on the screen there, -3 to -1 to 0. So it is, it's anybody's game at this point.
And I think it's fair to say that with these 2 games coming up this week, we are really expecting Rated R and EU's Finest to be at the top there. That was sort of, when we were discussing beforehand, our predictions. We sort of are looking at those 2 for this week to see. We do think they're going to go on and win. Let's talk about game number 1, as said, though. EU's Finest against Obey Alliance. Obey Alliance looked good last week in a close game against Rated R, who did beat EU's Finest week number 1. So if you would go by logically, you would say, well, surely they should actually beat them here, but I very much doubt that will be the case. I think EU's Finest looked 100% better against our damage last week.
EU's Finest, they were back on form.
Yeah, 100%.
They looked like they were back at the majors, back a few months ago in Gears 4. That's how good they looked. Our damage didn't look good at all, to be quite honest with you.
No,
I think
they
that
did
played into
yeah.
it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But much better showing from EU's Finest last week, and yeah, Obey as well. On the other hand, they also stepped up. They had a lot better week 2 than they did week 1.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of EU's Finest playing well, let's have a look at the leaderboards of statistics that we have here. The top 5 KDA is every single player from EU's Finest. So, I mean, that's a pretty solid start, considering they've won 1, lost 1. I mean, look, everybody's won 1, lost 1, I suppose, but at the same time, considering where they were, how poor of a week 1 they had, it showed how strong their week 2 was.
Yeah, definitely. If these are week 2 stats after week 2, right? If you looked at the same leaderboard after week 1, there was only Crazed up there. The rest of the other 4 members of EU's Finest were nowhere to be seen. They were actually further down the bottom than anyone would have anticipated. So yeah, it is good to see the 5 stack there for EU's Finest. Obviously back on winning form last week.
And looking on the other side of things, though, Saki very much at the top of the top 5 average scorecard. He's a player that we talked about on Change of Gears through the week. Mm-hmm. The top eliminations over the whole EU Pro League from Saki.
Yeah, top eliminations. He's the only one over 90, I believe. And he's hitting over 45 game. I'm thinking series here. Over 45 per map, which is insane. And yeah, he's top on deaths as well, so he's obviously getting involved in those fights.
Yeah,
he is really getting stuck in. And yeah, up on the points as well, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And something else to point out that we don't have on screen, though, the top 3 Slayers all belong into Obey. Obviously, KDA is very much on the side of EU's Finest, but when we're talking about just pure slaying, Saki and Co from Obey are the top 3. I think it's Saki, Breaker, and TJ all in the top 3 for Obey. So they're feeling themselves in terms of engagements, at least anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe good for them going up against EU's Finest, or do you think that's going to play into EU's Finest's hands?
It depends if they can carry on slaying at that level, right? Yeah. If they can keep that form up, then yeah, by all means, if you can take the fight to EU's Finest and win it, that's pretty much how Rated R beat them in the first week, right? So we have seen that strategy work against EU's Finest. That said, if you take it to them and can't match that intensity, then no, it's a terrible way to go, because you are going to just get dominated. So It's chalk and cheese really for Obey, and I'm really excited to see which way it goes. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think when you look at EU's Finest and how they really strangulated our damage last week, they can play that way as well. So EU's Finest, they've got a lot of strings to their bow, so to speak. But let's have a look at the pick and bans for game number 1. Now, we already knew these, and we were a little bit surprised because we have actually seen Bunker slip through, and Obey Alliance beat EU's Finest on this map last time they played each other.
Yeah. It was a surprise, to be honest with you. The first ban there from EU's Finest, Vaskar, coming out. Perhaps that's a targeted ban on the map that we saw last week.
Yeah.
We saw Obey play it reasonably well. It was a very, very close game, but I was very surprised to see Vaskar there. I would have thought that would have been Bunker as the first ban. So yeah, no surprise there. Obey Alliance picking Bunker up first.
Yeah, and it was no surprise to see District going as well from Obey Alliance. So I mean, that's been a pretty much across the board. A lot of teams banning that one out.
Both these teams have banned District in both their matches. So no surprise to see that one gone. Bunker, on the other hand, is the only map that Obey have beat EU's Finest on since the qualifications begun. So that's an interesting one for me.
Yeah, so that sort of automatically makes this a lot more interesting, I think. You know, if you look at the other maps, Exhibit, if I was EU's Finest, we've seen Obey not have a good time of things against our damage on that one in week number 1, if I remember correctly. So I would have liked to maybe see Exhibit, because I think EU's Finest looked pretty good on that last week, going up against our damage themselves. Asylum coming through is no surprise, though, let's be honest. EU's Finest have always looked pretty good on that map.
Yep, they looked great on it last week. They beat our damage on it very, very convincingly.
Yes.
They slipped a couple of rounds, but honestly, yeah, they looked very good on it last week, so no surprise really. Closing out though, Icebound, Obey banning that one out, fair enough. Exhibit 2, EU's Finest. I mean, they played it last week, but
I find it strange that EU's Finest wanted rid of Exhibit. Maybe they just prefer training grounds and know that Obey Alliance won't pick Icebound.
I think
because Icebound's been a ban for EU's Finest though.
Yeah, it has been a ban, but I think looking at the maps that are left, they are just trying to force Obey to pick that training grounds, and I think they knew Obey would pick that, given that this has been the last map in all 3 of the 4 games in terms of picks and bans. At least we haven't seen it yet, but it has been there as that 4th pick.
So it's a little bit of a strange pick and ban in the end for me. The way I look at it, I would say that it's not necessarily what we would have predicted. I think, we absolutely believed that Bunker would be gone, but let's have a look at the maps that we will indeed be playing. It is, as said, going to be Bunker coming up first, which we like for Obey, but do we fancy them for it, though?
I think if they are going to win this, they have to win Bunker.
They absolutely have to.
To be honest with you. And I think if they lose Bunker, a 2-0 comeback, a 2-1 comeback, is definitely off the cards. I think it's great for Obey that they've been gifted this, to be honest with you. And we saw it last week. We called out Rated R for letting this go through. And
they picked it, actually, didn't they?
Yeah,
if I remember rightly. Yeah,
exactly.
So that's an interesting one. Asylum and Training Grounds will follow, of course. We all own the game, so I'm going to ask you for your prediction based on these maps through. I'm personally going to say Obey Alliance win map number 1. And I think we'll see our first 3rd map of the EU Pro League, actually. I think we will see all 3 maps, and I do believe EU's Finest will take a 2-1.
On the other hand, as much as I would love to make that same prediction, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say this is 2-0 EU's Finest.
Oh.
I think that they are going to have let Bunker go through on purpose. I don't think that Rubik's, their coach, would have missed this and slipped up here. So I reckon they've probably got something planned to counteract that talk bow up on the top side. And I think they may have been baiting Obey into picking this.
Okay, well, maybe they're playing the mind games. Maybe they are indeed luring Obey into their trap. Let's get into it. Week number 3 at the EU Pro League. We've got so many more to go as well through. Wow. 3 out of 5 million weeks of this. And we're excited for it. It's going to be great to build the stories. They are slowly writing themselves, though, as we get into this one. And it is going to be top control that everyone seems to sort of barn for. But a little bit of a split here through. Obey Alliance only sending 1 down low towards B.
Yep, that they do. Obey, they send 1 low, but they send 2 high side. Playing a little bit similar, actually, to how they played against Rated R last week. And they just kind of match things up top. They like to get this control in this middle so they can then start to shoot down towards that bottom side. And there's no harm in doing that, to be honest with you. You do lose that first ring, that middle ring, that neutral ring. But the control you gain from it, you usually can gain those points back later on.
Yeah. So it's just sort of setting yourselves up for success rather than going in and into potentially a massive fight against EU's Finest. But as I said, EU's Finest are in control now. Phelpsy will hold this one quite nicely. And we've seen EU's Finest play this game against our damage last week. Not necessarily on this map, but they were in a position where they were just holding the 2-cap very, very steadily. And they weren't really letting anything slip through. But here we go. Warrior Guns is going to start making this push over towards B. He does have his teammate with him, Phelpsy here, lying in wait. They have spotted him now. They will come through with the push. Some supportive fire coming from up top from Crimson's as well as fantastic. Warrior Guns does get caught out, but it is going to be Demonic to pick up a couple of kills. Trying to keep things going here. Phelpsy just trying to defend the downed Warrior Guns as eventually does take him down. Now TJ will probably back up or just have to get aggressive. Hydron is going to go down to Saki. And Saki's been the standout player for me from Obey Alliance. We've seen some good players coming out of Breaker, but Saki well and truly at the head of the slaying leaderboards. It has been a push over towards C from Obey Alliance, which they have won, so TJ can just take his time here.
Yeah, he's got time. He knows he's got 2 members in front of him as well, which means he knows he's 3 members in front of him now. And he knows his team, only have 2 to deal with over at the other side, which is, it's not a problem really here. They've got the D cap, so they've got to force the East Finest to come and try and get this C cap here. And it's actually good play from Obey. They're clawing back points. You can see every time that the East Finest team go in to capture this B, they just get a little touch on it to stop that. And they push him back. It looks like Sea Hill maybe going back over towards EU's Finest, though, as the attack comes in from Craze. Saki managed to get another kill, though. That's good for Saki. He's traded himself out. He's delayed a bit of time here, and it has given his team time just to get into the fight here, into the action. Warrior Guns against Crimson's.
That's massive from Crimson's.
Yeah, big shot there to clean up that kill. And
that was 2 he found all on his own over towards B, and that will just about shut down the Obey Alliance resurgence, if you like. And I like that from Obey, though. They pushed over towards C, they were keeping them occupied, and then the 3 members of Obey were just waiting at B for when eventually they did lose out on C. Then they would have to make that push. In the end, though, they couldn't quite get it done. Crimson's is going to find 2 over towards that B site, so it is going to be a reset, if you like, and EU's Finest are back in the position they were in at the beginning of the round. But the time is ticking down. If you are Obey Alliance, you need to make a move within the next 25 seconds. We can see EU's Finest are setting up here, and they want to get control of over up top. Nobody really from Obey Alliance here, so they want to get down and dirty with a shotgun fight over towards B. Here comes the push. Warrior Guns going to have to get something done here. The flash comes through. This could be a break for EU's Finest if they can try it. It has been decapped up, but it's still a COG team win condition. They have to make the push. They have to find the kills really, really quickly. Hydron's going to find one, not going to quite find the turn and burn onto Warrior Guns, but Warrior Guns can do nothing from here. Has been a C push, though, from Obey Alliance, and they will win from this one, I do believe. Oh, no, they won't. Not quite. They have to make the push over towards A, which is what EU's Finest have already done. This one has been decapped. It's a long round, but it is EU's Finest in the end taking this one away.
It was a nice little play there from Obey, but an even nicer play from EU's Finest. As they made that push up onto the B hill to try and defend it, they just swung a member underneath Obey and just took that home hill from behind them. And it looked like they actually waited a little bit just to make sure that Obey had fully committed to that C hill, to that B hill, before decapping the A hill. They had their timers on point, and that's a nice play just to secure the round there.
Yeah, nicely done by EU's Finest, but a close round nonetheless. We go all the way to the wire. Obey Alliance now. We'll have to try and come back into this one. I mean, I don't dislike the play from Obey Alliance at any point during that. It's just one of those rounds that you sort of chalk it up. You say, good play by EU's Finest. They held it a little bit better than we did, and maybe 1 or 2 more gunfights that went in Obey Alliance's favour, and that goes in a different direction. I think it really comes down to Crimson's finding the 2 over towards B when the C push was initiated as well from Obey Alliance, and that pretty much won them the round in the end.
The only thing I would have maybe done differently in their feet. That's not a saying. If I was in their feet, if I was in their shoes, is that when I knew I was losing the C hill, I would have rotated my members from C back towards B and tried to make that that advantageous play there, basically try and get a couple more kills. They tried to fight on both fronts, and I'm not sure that really went too well for them. But it was a good round. It was very, very close. And we're seeing the opposite this time around. Obey opening up with that B hill.
And they're happy to try and close this one out from here, but the kills have all went over towards EU's Finest up top. There's going to be Saki, TJ, both going down. And now this is what we would probably like to have seen.
Exactly.
We see Craze looking for the flank going over towards Breaker. That will allow the rest of his team to then push up and make the push through. Demonic should be in a world of hell, and he is. He goes down. Really nicely done by EU's Finest. It's just methodical gears, isn't it? There's nothing too crazy about it. Win your gunfights where you need to, flank where you can. They are going to lose C after initially getting a hold of it, but they will capture B because of the push up top. Yeah,
and that's the difference, right? Yes, they let C go, but they now have 2 hills. They now have full control over the map, and it asks for a brazen push here from Obey to really get this back. EU's Finest, they are going to cede a little bit of control up top here because they were outnumbered. But up until that point, it was a good play. And they still have control. They still are waiting for this push from Obey.
TJ is going to try and get a bit further forward. Phelpsy will find him from low, though. But it has actually allowed a little bit of room for Warrior Guns to push up. Hydron's going to try and answer back here. Breaker is in support of his teammates, so it looks like that one will be decapped. Hydron is going to find Warrior Gun, so he's going to catch him out. Big gunfight coming up here as well as Breaker trades that one away. Crimson's goes down, but Phelpsy is here to help as well. Has to make the push, has to do something special to get out of this one. Breaker in a tough spot. And it's just so well played by EU's Finest. They just seem to have the teamwork on lock. Whenever you are needed at some point in the map, you always seem to have somebody there if you are EU's Finest. Phelpsy now getting aggressive with the rest of his team, but he will just back on down and say, you know what, we're quite happy to sit back on this 2-cap. No need to necessarily push over towards C. You lose a couple of gunfights there if you EU's Finest, and you put yourself in a worse position.
Yeah, that's it. You basically open up the B hill push if you lose any person at C. That is the difference between EU's Finest and Obey, by the way. This is the reason that they are up there on that KDA leaderboard, is that because in those 2v1 situations, they very rarely lose a person. Whereas Obey, whereas Rated R, they will happily trade that person out for that control. EU's Finest say, well, we don't need to trade out for that control, and they play it just a little cleaner, a little bit nicer, and that is why you see them up there on that leaderboard.
Needs to be some big gunfights within the next 10 seconds if you're Obey Alliance, making a push over towards A. Chris sitting back defending. They need to win B as well. Hydron's won a gunfight over there. Crazed is going to find one. Phelpsy finds another. This will be another round over towards EU's Finest, and they are just really... I don't want to say they're longing the rounds out, but it's just a grinding them down constantly. And whenever Obey Alliance have a question to ask, the answer is always there from EU's Finest. They always have a play to get around what Obey are doing. So Obey, can they maybe develop themselves here and sort of say, how do we adapt to what EU's Finest are doing?
Mm-hmm. And one
it's
thing
hard to do, though, isn't it?
It is very hard to do. It's one of those things that actually, as the game goes on, it's going to be a little bit easy because they'll be coming back in those respawns a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
That's a very interesting placement.
Okay, so that's...
I like this.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting placement, but I like this. And Obey,
I love it.
you're going to reply.
So, right, okay, this is more like...
So this is what we were saying, though, right? We thought, EU's Finest probably have got a reason that they're letting Bunker slip through here. It looks like this is the reason. We're going back to Gears 4. We're going back a little bit old school here.
This is what I like to see, because
placing those weapons
I'll
in the middle.
not lie to you. When people put down the same weapons every time, it doesn't offer anything different, really, does it? But when this is the case, when there's a drop shot and a boom shot in the middle of the map, that's when things get really interesting. TJ is going to find the boom shot up top, though. So that's a good start from them. They may be able to get something going with it, but it looks like EU's Finest have invested a lot towards this drop shot and towards B. Hydro now setting himself up, waiting for the push. They have the advantageous cover on this side. Drop shot comes through, but he is going to be taken down and back up very, very quickly, but he is going to get taken down. Now they have the numbers. Jackfax is going to have to go big. Does find one. The push over, though. We can see EU's Finest flexing their muscles over towards it. It's going to be a 3v3 gunfight next time we break out.
They've got to be very careful as well. That drop shot is almost close enough to the edge that EU's Finest could maybe pick it just a little bit too far away. Does look like some good control here from Obey, though. They're going to try and pick up the drop shot themselves. This time Warrior falls into the corner, so he might actually be able to get picked up here. Depends whether or not he can backpack it. Can he get it out? He does drop it down. TJ comes in with a boom shot, takes out 2 of his own members, 4 people in total, sorry. And that is going to be that for B-Hill fight. Drop shot still in the corner, though. Saki trying to fight for it. Craze may have spotted it. Doesn't look like he has actually.
Huge gunfight.
Going to try and support his teammate here. Saki picks up one with Crimson's, but Craze, he's going to reply as well. And if he's quick, he can get that drop shot. He has seen it. Looks like he's going to let it go out of play instead. Goes for the cap.
Wow.
He's going to get there in time? He's there in time. He knows his time.
Just about gets there in time. But either way, I mean, that boom shot comes through, and I think if you're TJ in that position, you say, well, how's this going to go? Let's fire it in the mixer and see what happens. And that's what happened, unfortunately. The 4-man was 2 of the other team, but 2 of your own team, so not necessarily the best. But either way, TJ is going to make a push over towards B. Looks like that drop shot actually may have come out, and it doesn't really find much, but here come EU's Finest on the defensive side of things. Hydron finds one. The pickup comes through, but Crimson's might go through untouched, and eventually does go down. Warrior Guns, though, is going to find Hydron. TJ will get picked up, and the numbers are here for OB Alliance. They should be able to get a hold of B. Crazed has something to say, though. Warrior Guns finds him. Another kill for Warrior, and they are going to back EU's Finest down. They will get a hold of B, and that's the first time we've really seen OB Alliance win that gunfight in and around B.
Yeah, and I like what I saw there. I mean, they have just let this boom shot go on the other side of the map, which is never a good thing, but the fight itself was well played. Warrior Guns dropping in a flashbang for his teammates' push, and they really, they coordinated well. Drop shot on the other side of things is going to be taken out, actually, by Obey here. So we have got a power weapon on each side. Warrior Gun's holding that drop shot. Let's see what he's up to with it. Looks like he's going to take it out top. Has got 2 shots left in it here. The boom shot, on the other hand, is in Phelps' hand, so he's going to bring this up to B and maybe trying to look to get a couple of kills here. He does go down. If they can clean this, this is huge.
They're going to go for the clean. They're going to take him down as well. So that was because of the drop shot comes through. He has to force over towards that cover, and he gets taken down. Crazed has won a gunfight onto Demonic, though, and will take him down. That's a big drop shot. If it lands, he is going to find Hydron. Really nice play from Obey Alliance. They found themselves in control of the points, and with more power weapons as well. Put themselves in a good position to win this round. They will still probably win off one cap here. Indeed, they will over towards A. That's all they need to keep a hold of. But here comes the push from EU's Finest. Has to be a couple of gunfights won by OB here. And I think they may just have enough time. They will have enough time, and it's an OB Alliance round. Much better from them. But the first time we've really seen this season is something being dropped in the middle. And we love to see it. I love to see these big gunfights. When it comes down to it, you win the important ones, and you will win the round. Obey Alliance did just that and will find themselves 2-1 down now.
Having a little look at the scoreboard as we go into this 4th round.
I mean, there's a reason he's top of the KD here.
Yeah, you can see exactly why, right? Rocking a 4.0 already in this game. 16 eliminations to 4 deaths. Crims as well, not doing too bad either, 13-3. But the rounds have been very close, so it's not really about those eliminations, right? It's about how you play in the rings. It's about holding control. You can slay out a lot, but if you're slaying out on your own home hill and you're still losing points, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, that's not the case in this game. EU's Finest, they're doing all right. Let's have a quick look at that overhead, see what got placed. Incendiaries down on that cog side. So, just one of them going over to EU's Finest. On the other side, we see some shocks. So, some shock grenades to support on that boom shot fight.
So, slight change up. Let's see what Crimson's does with the incense, though. It is going to be pushed over towards where the drop shot is, and of course where B is. Flash comes through. Crimson's is not going to be able to be flashed by that one. Jackpix is going to get a hold of the boom shot, though, so we will keep an eye on that as well. TJ's putting the shots down. He is going to be peppered back, though, and we'll probably have to back on down here, and will just concede that boom shot. So that is now gone there. Probably going to try and rotate that round towards B. So big gunfights coming up very, very shortly. Demonic and Code just trading blows up top. It's an important gunfight here. They really can't allow both power weapons to go over towards EU Finest here. Break it. Guarding it as best he can, but there's 3 members of EU's Finest over towards B. Here comes the push. Has the boom shot made its way over here as well?
It is. The boom shot's at the back, so he's not on this first cover where Crimson's is, but he's a little bit further back. And I like what EU's Finest have done here. They picked the incense on this side specifically because they can put that one person with these incense down, and it basically nullifies this 3-person push here from Obey. Whereas on the other side, EU's Finest, they had an extra person up there. The shot grenade didn't get used as well, and they managed to extract that boom shot with that extra person in tow.
They just have to back down. They have to back down.
There is no answer here really for Obey. They either have to force the boom shot to come out, but if they force the boom shot to come out, unless they've got an extra person over here, they're probably going to lose the drop shot for it. They may lose a little bit more as well, as we see TJ go down there. Saki trying his best still to try and defend this, but he has got a member behind, and that is Hydron. Warrior going to make tail now and get out of there. He can't fight 3 members of EU's Finest, especially with the incend as well on the...
And that couldn't have went better for EU's Finest, right? Yes, okay, they have to invest the boom shot because of its presence, though. That's what won them it, because they know that they have to pull the trigger at some point here. If you are on EU's Finest, Obey make the push. They don't find the kills because the boom shot's in play. They get a drop shot for their troubles as well as B.
The one play that they possibly could have made is to drop the...
I think the shock did come through.
It came through, but it came through on the far side, so close to the edge wall.
Maybe you could have seen something a bit more aggressive with it.
Put it here in the middle, then you don't have anyone there at least shooting you. Let's have a look what's going on here. Just a kill from Jack with that drop shot. Someone trying to push over the top, and he was just hiding on the corner. But yeah, if you...
Oh, that's a big drop shot coming through, and that is going to be another kill. Jack doing great work here with the drop shot, and they do still have a hold of the boom as well. And I think you're just not in a good spot here if you're Obey Alliance at all. The kills coming in up top. The incense to stop the push from Saki. Hydron will sacrifice himself, but here comes the Cog elimination. EU's Finest 3-1 up now. And similar to rounds 1 and 2, but of course with the drop shot, with the boom shot involved, they just won the important gunfights there, you feel?
Yep, they did. They played that opener very, very well. And then once they had those weapons in hand, it's, you're asking a difficult ask of any team to fight EU's Finest on, just base weapons. But once they've got extra weapons on top of that, it's going to be difficult. It looks like if I was in an Obey situation now, I'd be looking at putting more importance over on this boom shot side. You aren't going to be able to get that drop shot there with that incendiary looking at it. It's if EU's Finest play that correctly, it's just going to be very, very difficult. Looks like they're going to put a smoke grenade in there, perhaps to maybe cover that drop shot as they go for it, but it's still a very risky play. If you if you get killed out with that incendiary, smoke or not, you're still going up.
No, smoke does not defeat fire. Not in this game anyway.
No.
Well, looks like the standard push coming through.
Let's have a look up top this time.
There's actually plenty of members of Obey going over towards that boom shot, and they are going to probably get a hold of that there. TJ now in a good position. He does have some cover as well if Jackfix does actually choose to have a pop. Just trying to put a couple extra bullets in. Here comes the flash. It's a shot grenade coming through, actually, sorry, and it is actually going to drop Jack, and they get a hold of the boom shot. So nicely played by Obey Alliance. I think it will just be a momentary thing. I'd imagine Jack may get picked up if his teammate does choose to come and help him here. Craze, though, is just going to try and fight them off himself. Flash is coming through as well. Jack should go down and will go down, and here it is. Obey Alliance now get control of up top, but importantly note, Hydron does have a hold of this drop shot. Crazed is going to go down. I expect a home hill push yet. Obey Alliance quite happy to do so, quite happy to say you can have a hold of B, you can have a hold of the drop shot, but we're going to get C.
And we see actually a push here from Obey to try and get control of B at the same time. TJ using that drop shot well. They are going to get control of B as well. Looks like C has been departed, as they're going to just kind of wrap round here. And this is the play that we asked them to make in that second round. When they had control of the homes, they didn't come back in time. This time they have done. They've managed to get control of mid again. What they need to be doing now, though, is be careful of that boom shot pickup, that second round pickup. We've got 80 seconds on the drop shot, whereas we've only got 60 on the boom shot.
3 men of EU's Finest heading up towards that boom shot. So investing a lot into that one, and I think that's the catalyst that we will see used if you are the EU's Finest side to try and get back into this round, because Obey Alliance sitting pretty at the moment. Was there anything left on that drop, the boom shot that they had? I don't think TJ used it.
He did use it in the end.
Oh,
he used it. Well, let's go over and have a look. I don't see him using it at all. I'm pretty sure that he used it in the push back over towards this B hill. I heard a lot of explosions go off, and I'm pretty sure he got a kill with that.
Either way, a bit of a stalemate here. Nothing on the cards for EU's Finest right now, and they will just be waiting on those power weapons coming up once again. And there's going to be boom shot in 20, but we can see how aggressive Obey Alliance are. They're in a position where they can pick up that drop shot when it does come through in about 30 seconds or so, but we can imagine that EU's Finest are going to adapt to that. But here we go, boom shot coming up in 10.
It's going to be such a quick play.
Yeah, EU's Finest are in a much better position to do something about this yet. Has to be big from Obey Alliance as they're going to be in a tough spot, albeit in lead of the round. Saki is going to find those shocks, so he will make the push, but Hydron is taking down Breaker. The shot's now going to come through from Jack. That's going to force them away from B. Crimson should be able to make that push. And it is going to be drop shot coming through for Jack. He's going to manage to pick that one up in a second. Crimson's going to find a kill with the incense as well. It's still an Obey Alliance round to lose, but this has to be won by Saki. He's going to get taken down. The drop shot comes through. There comes the boom as well. Craze gets the support, and EU's Finest flip the switch. 4-1 there now, and it just felt like it was coming. You've seen the score. Obey Alliance well in control, and you're just like, well, EU's Finest are probably going to win this. Crazy, crazy round out of them. In the end, they just win the important gunfights once again.
It was textbook Gears of War. Yeah. And if Obey had read that textbook, they should have known to put a member over onto the opposing team's home hill. They had that advantage down at the artillery. You mentioned it yourself, that they were in that aggressive spot. That means they have the route to go through. As soon as that push comes up over the top of bunker, one member of Obey should have been extending all the way over down here to the windmill, and he should have got control over the home hill. It should have happened. Yeah. That to me is great play by EU's Finest. Don't get me wrong. They played their gunfights perfectly, and they had a plan, right? The plan was very obvious. But Obey, they should have been in the position there to realize what was happening to them and tried to make the most of it. The most of it would have been, that extension there basically. But fantastic play by EU's Finest, and now 4-1 up. They get what they deserve.
Indeed. Good round from EU's Finest, and they just seem to have had Obey's number for the majority of the time, outside of that one round, of course. Phelpsy now getting aggressive, gonna have to back off from Demonic, but here comes the support of Lancify. There should be a kill for Phelpsy, nicely done. Backs off and just lets his teammate do all the dirty work for him, and cleans up the kill nice and easily. Phelpsy finds a second. EU's Finest in control of up top. They've got the drop shot, they've got control of the boom shot as well if they want it. It's just, as you said, it's textbook. We've seen Obey invest a lot over towards B, but they've lost control of everything else.
They have indeed, and you know they still have that C hill to hold on to, but it's going to be, you know, a literal uphill battle coming up this bunker. But you know, an uphill battle as well in terms of running into those drop shots, those boom shots, because it's definitely a scary situation. You see Warrior Guns just holding a little angle up here to try and make sure no one is pushing across top bunker. But for EU's Finest, they don't particularly need to move. They've got those weapons in hand. You know, the timers are. They're large, right? 90 seconds you see on that boom shot, 80 seconds on the drop shot. Phelpsy gets himself actually a kill here with that boom shot. The drop shot did come in as well, but nothing for that.
And I think if you Obey Alliance here, you're just trying to bait out these power weapons to be wasted, if you like, from EU's Finest. In this case, it hasn't been, though. Yes, okay, the kills are coming if you are EU's Finest, so you're happy with that. But Obey Alliance have to get rid of them at some point, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They have to make make EU's Finest waste them, basically, before those next ones come up. But that was actually baiting the opposite side. Phelpsy, he ran down there knowing that he'd get lanced, so that drop shot could just be placed over the top, and people weren't paying attention to it. And that little misdirection is something that's used a lot by EU's Finest, and they use it very, very well.
Seems as if Obey are really setting up more of the resources over towards the top side bunker of the map. And they want that boom shot to maybe help them try and get back into things. That's obviously going to come up first over the drop shots. So, EU's Finest is going to invest maybe a little bit more towards B, keeping hold of that one. Breaker is going to find Phelpsy, though. Crimson's just trying his best to keep them off B. The shot grenade was placed on towards the B hill. And now the push comes through from Obey Alliance. Do they have anything else to play with here? Crimson's is now going to find those incens as well. They will not get B either, though. They tried to make the push, and Crazed is there to just shut the door. Finds the kills where he needs to. B will go back over towards EU's Finest. This will be another round to EU's Finest outside of a sensational play from Obey, and it's just an impossible play at this moment in time with the Gears of War that EU's Finest are playing 5-1 now. My bunker prediction for Obey Alliance is looking slim to say
indeed.
the least.
Yeah. And this middle pick for this drop shot and this boom shot, it's kind of thrown a bit of a wrench in the plan, I think, for Obey.
Because it was EU's Finest that came out with it.
Yes,
initially.
yeah.
So Obey have to match it at some point, whether they sort of say, well, okay, let's upgrade our homes and hopefully we win the mid fight. But they just said, well, screw it, let's put another one in the middle and see what they're about.
Yeah, exactly. And well, EU's Finest, they're about quite a lot, it seems, as they are 5-1 up at the half. Marks are placed, obviously, in that top right. We see the shot grenades both on the bottom, and those incendiaries still over on the left side.
So Phelpsy going to get a free boom shot, and TJ pretty much a free drop shot. So, of course, things have changed around this time round, though. We have moved the hills, and E, or the middle hill, has now moved up towards where the boom shot is placed up top bunker. Home hills, relatively similarly placed, just moved over to the other side. But in this position, though, do you maybe favour the E side a little bit more? Do you put more investment into E than you would to B because of the height advantage that they have? Or do you think if your Obey Alliance going for that drop shot was probably the best play?
I don't mind getting the drop shot. It's, you know, if EU's Finest are going to give it up, I would rather get a free drop shot and push up than fight 50-50 on both hills.
Yeah.
Purely because that's what the drop shot is made for, right? It is for fighting up verticals. It's about dropping that weapon straight over the top, hence the name. And, well, I don't think it's a terrible situation to be in.
Jordan is going to drop TJ, though, so that drop shot doesn't find anything if you're Obey Alliance.
Incendiary grenade,
though.
Oh,
the massive incent coming out of Crimson's, though. And you feel as if that's going to shut down the push. Nothing found with the drop shot. Jack Vex finds Demonic. EU's Finest holds steady. Nicely done from them. They are going to get a hold of the F hill, though, if you are Obey Alliance, so that is going to slow it down just a little bit. But if you're EU's Finest, you're still on the driving seat here. You'll win the gunfight over towards F. You'll capture the hill. You have control of E. You have control of the map. And look at the aggressive push. They just have to push up, and it's such a hard break for Obey Alliance in this position.
It is, and that's that first line of defense. Even though EU's Finest, they've just backed off here. They're still in a good situation to defend. It's not like they've backed away from the hill. They've just backed away one level. And they've got these 3 setups, right? They've got the first setup, which is super aggressive. Then they've got that kind of middle level, not so much a passive setup, but just enough to hold the hill. And then they've got the 3rd line.
Demonic's going to come in with a kill on the Jack, though, so maybe there's life in this round for Obey Alliance yet. It needs to be a domination, though. Don't feel like they're going to have enough time. If you are EU's finest, you just try and win these gunfights. I say that. A couple actually go over towards EU's Obey Alliance, I should say. But still, it's an impossible task in 5 seconds. If you're Crimsons, you're just trying to stay alive, just trying to do something on the map to deter Obey Alliance from making the push. I don't think there's going to be enough time. There is not. 6-1 now to EU's finest, making things look very, very easy here. And for me, it comes down to the power weapons. We see the incense on the side of EU's finest used perfectly. We see the drop shot from Obey Alliance wasted.
Yes, yeah, and both grenades, the shock as well to push Obey off that back spawn, that boom shot spawn was perfect, and the speed at which they use them is also something that should be noted. It's not a question of, oh, should I throw that shock? The shock is already there.
Yeah.
Like, you have no time to react. You move to that position and you're already getting downed by that shock grenade, and the rest of the members of EU's finest are already lancering your escape route. It's really good Gears of War, and it is at the very, very top level. The Tortbow comes in, and this is an Obey Alliance special. We saw it used very, very well to come back against, not to come back against Rated R, but to beat Rated R. We've seen it be the catalyst for Obey Alliance's win over EU's finest the first time round, but quite honestly, the M-bar on the other side is something to watch out for, especially in Crazed hand.
Well, let's see what Chris can do with it. And the other side of things, we'll keep an eye on Saki. M-bar going to come through onto TJ. I think it's going to land the first one, not quite the second. He's just putting the shots down, but not really using it to great effect quite yet.
Just needs to take his time with the shot, that was all.
I think that's it. It's not an easy shot to make there, but either way, Chris does waste a few of those bullets at least. And we'll try and get something done here. At this moment in time, Obey Alliance not in a bad setup. TJ is going to go for the boom, and he will get a hold of it. Jack has won a gunfight down low, though, against Warrior Guns. Phelpsy and Crazed also winning gunfights, and it doesn't matter how much control you have if you can't win your gunfights. Don't miss, don't lose is EU's finest mantra right now. Crimson's is not going to miss anybody there as he finds his teammate as well as Breaker, but Crimson's is going to find the drop shot because of that, and they start to get aggressive. Saki now in a bad spot. He was, before this at least, the leader in eliminations. May still well be, but at the same time, he has to do something special here. Let's be honest. It's not looking good for Obey Alliance. Just things, I don't want to say things haven't gone their way. They've just been outplayed. They've just been outplayed on every single part of the map, to be honest with you. And I think we questioned whether the slaying ability that we've seen from them last week against Rated R is going to be enough. They haven't had a chance to even flex their muscles because EU's finest to just shut the door at every single opportune moment. They've got as many power weapons as they could possibly like as Crimson's invests one of them. On the Warrior Guns, he goes down, and that's the difference. That's the difference there. Crimson's finds 2. The previous round, when we talked about Obey Alliance having to use their power weapons, well, they did not. EU's finest, perfect efficiency from them. The drop shot finds 2, the boom shot finds 1, and EU's finest are looking to find map 1 here. 6-1 up in the driving seat. Simple round here from them, surely.
It is. It should be pretty simple. They're just taking their time, slaying out where they need to. They're finding these individual kills here and there with these power weapons. We saw, 2 drop shots come out, 1 boom shot come out, and now Obey, they're trapped basically in their own spawn. We see Crimson's, he's up there with them. He has got a bit of backup. Jack's going to come in. He got taken down as well. A Hydra it was, sorry. Jack got it down elsewhere.
Well, either way, EU's finest were just trying to maybe flex that and make sure they made the final push through to eventually end this round, but there you go. You said about these shocks, they're like, oh, let's make a push through to bottom mid. Oh no, we can't because there's a shock grenade there. Just used perfectly. It's just perfect gears from EU's finest, and honestly, 7-0 wouldn't have flattered them. Phenomenal from them on Bunker. We questioned whether it was a strange pick from them. Clearly not. Obey Alliance get put to sleep on that one. 7-1 is the score, 1-0 in maps, and that is as convincing as you could possibly like if you are an EU's finest fan. Impressive. Very, very impressive from them. I think after week 1, we asked questions. We sort of said, right, well, how are EU's finest losing to Rated R like this in the way that they did? But ever since then, they have been flawless.
Yeah, it really was flawless. We saw some members of EU's finest there with less than 5 deaths across the whole map. That's 8 rounds played, 5 deaths, 4 deaths.
And it doesn't even feel like,
fantastic.
Yes, they were winning their gunfights, but they never put themselves in a position where it come down to these huge fights. They always just move around the map so well. And yes, okay, they do win their important 1v1s, that has to be said. But it wasn't a huge slaying game.
No.
And that really sort of, you look at OB Alliance last week and you sort of say, well, okay, the slaying was their biggest power weapon, if you like. You know, they were playing really well in terms of just winning these big shotgun fights. EU's Finest didn't allow them to get in that position at all, really. They just strangulated them across the map and just out-rotated them on occasion. They outplayed them every single time they needed to, apart from that one round that was nice from OB Alliance, but I mean, EU's Finest were just great there.
It comes down to strategy in the end. In the end of things, and they're the only team that have looked at the map and really thought about how they can manipulate it. How does the map play? How do teams react to certain certain variables? The variable being the drop shot this time down at that artillery area. Yeah. And as soon as they noticed that Obey were gonna put more people there, they just threw that incendiary on top, and that's a great cancellation. And reading the map and reading their opponent is something that a lot of these teams should be doing better. And EU's Finest is the only one that I've really seen so far that have really excelled in it. And there they baited the map pick in, and then even throughout the whole game, they had the number. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in terms of the picks and bans. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in terms of the weapon placements. And for me, that's how Gears should be played.
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing is as well that you touched on slightly was the fact that week in, week out, so far in the Pro League, we really haven't. I think that's the first time we've seen a mid-weapon placement in so this is our 5th game in 5 games. Yeah. So, and it comes from EU's Finest. We see everybody else maybe sitting in the comfort zone of just placing these at home hills and saying to ourselves, well, let's just fight fire with fire. EU's Finest are like, let's fight fire with water here and just let's just get crazy with it a little bit. And they play it in there. They play around it so perfectly, and they find the map very, very easily in the end. Yeah. We're going to be heading over to Asylum in a second, and I am seriously worried for OB Alliance now. That they needed to win that map. And I just thought that, based on previous how they had played this, I was just thinking they may be able to pip it, but EU's Finest looks so good there. They look so good, and Asylum, I think for me, could be very similar. It's a very EU's Finest map where they can just choke you out, play that Lancer Fire, and they should be able to do that against OB Alliance based on that first map.
They did it fantastically against our damage. Yeah. The fact that this is EU's Finest map pick as well scares me a little.
I'm quite concerned.
I mean, if you're EU's Finest, you're not concerned, right? If you're Obey, though, you might be. But yeah, I think this might be very quick.
It could be. I think, a lot of people questioned at the beginning of the Pro League whether this really would be the EU's Finest show, and I think we sort of got some deterrent to that in week number 1, at least, where Rated R really just came flying at them and tried to get something done and played really, really well and took the win. And I'd be really interested to see what happens next time they play each other. Based on what form we've seen from EU's Finest here, they're putting everybody else to bed. So let's see what they do against Rated R next time around. Maybe they just are their counter. maybe it's just
right?
Maybe that's it. But I honestly, with the way that EU's Finest have played this past 2 weeks, I feel like I'm waxing lyrical about them, but it's hard not to with the way they are playing.
Yeah, it is, and honestly, it's kind of what we expected from a team that is 4th in the world, right?
Yeah.
That they consistently did that across Gears 4 to a lot of teams. It's not just this European Pro League. It is a global effect of EU's Finest playing anyone. They do manage to smash a lot of people. And credit to them, they put the work in. They do put the work in. They play very, very well. And you see on screen here the maps. 7-1 bunker. That's just testament to how well they do play. Asylum going to be that next map. Training Grounds the 3rd map. No surprise there. And honestly, I would love it to see that Training Grounds, but I can't see it getting there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if we are going to see a map number 3 anywhere, it might be in the 2nd game of the day. I don't feel like we'll see it here. EU's Finest, though. Played this map once. I've won it once, indeed. And OB Alliance, not so much luck on it. I do believe they lost this one to our damage. Well, of course, after winning 2-0 against Rated R last week, of course they did. So, moving into Asylum, if you're OB Alliance here, what's the plan? I mean, win, but what's the plan? Because you've just been choked out on probably definitely your best map on paper, at least, anyway. You're going into now EU's Finest pick. What's the mentality? What is the idea?
You've got...
I mean, I presume that we're going to be restarting this one anyway, as Jack and Chris go a bit crazy on their own teammates either way. So we will get this one restarted in just a second. But, I mean, as I said, let's discuss what the plan is for OB Alliance here. Where do their strengths lie for you? where they can possibly go in against EU's finest? I see you smiling. I don't think there is one, is there? I mean, they have strengths, but maybe not comparatively.
It's difficult, right? Because Obey kind of do everything EU's finest do, but just not quite as good.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, EU's finest do it extremely, extremely well. So that's where it becomes difficult for Obey to really pinpoint a certain area. For me, they have to do something that EU's finest aren't going to expect. Much like the drop shot placement.
Yeah.
In bunker, apologies.
Literally 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, little brain fart there, but we're good. We're back on track. On bunker, they have to do the same thing here on Asylum, and they have to take it out of EU's finest control, because that map went exactly how EU's finest expected it to. They had a plan. That plan got executed. There was no real reply from Obey, because by the time they realized what was happening, that they were already halfway through the map.
Yeah.
So for me, it has to be the opposite way around. We have to see Obey come in with a bit of a plan, something different, not just the usual. Oh, we're going to place our drop shot on this side.
It's not going to work.
We're going to place our boom shot or torp bow on the other side. And hope it works again, because I don't think that is going to work again.
No, you can see on a basic level that it's hard for you to beat EU's finest at their own game, which is basically playing the simple game of trying to get the 2-cap, holding it where you need to. But I think it's never going to work for Obey with the way that EU's finest are playing right now. It needs to be something different. It needs to be that mid drop potentially come through, like we've seen Obey Alliance get caught off guard last map. Maybe we can see it from EU's finest this time around. But I still think even if they did do that, it's I don't want to say it's a lost cause, but it's a bad spot to be in. And I feel as if people at home will sort of be like, oh, well, all you're talking about is how well EU finest are playing, but they are that good at times.
They are that good.
It's hard to sort of argue against anything they do.
And the only way you can really look at it is kind of like a chess game, right? You got to be playing many plays ahead.
Yeah.
And what Obey really have to do here is they have to work out what EU's finest are planning, right? They have to work out step one, right? What is their goal? Are they going to play down mid? Are they going to play for those homes? Are they, stacking one side of the map? They have to work out really what EU's finest are doing. Then they've got to work out what EU's finest are going to gain from that, which is already difficult, because you've got to kind of get into their head, right, and think, okay, so they've got this drop shot, they've got these incendiaries. How are they then going to play this next round? And in bunker, it was a case of piling on that boom shot and having one person hold the drop shot. That's step 2, right? And then step 3, if you've got to find a way.
It's the execution behind that as well, isn't it? Yeah.
You've got to make sure you're not dying whilst working this out, but you've also then got to work out exactly how you can then play on top of that to make their play something that is advantageous to you. And that's the difficult bit, because EU's finest, they cover all doors, right? If their plan doesn't work out, they've got a backup plan already.
Which is just beat them anyway.
Which is it's already a good plan, right? Their backup plan is already going to be a good plan. So you kind of got to look like 3 down. Okay, they're going to react this way, then you got to go. It's a game of.
I've got a headache thinking about it.
And this is they're doing it while playing, right? We're just sat here talking about it. They've got to do it while playing. They've got to react on the fly as well, because they're not going to get told before the game what's happening. And if bunker's anything to go by, the VOD is not going to be any help either, because they played it completely differently. So
if you are listening back to this Obey Alliance, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. EU's finest were just so much better in that map number 1. Get the notebook out, look how they played it, and maybe just try and find some way to counteract it. But how do you do it? I think it comes down to trying to counter, but it's all about execution in the end. TJ and Cold up trying to get something done here, and straight away it's 2 kills going over towards EU's finest in the mid-map. They will probably get control of track's side. They're getting aggressive over towards A. They want to steal this round pretty quickly, you feel. Saki, for albeit he was the leader in the eliminations, is just about going to get pushed out, but that flash is just about going to save one of the Obey Alliance members there. Let's push over towards A. It's just going to be maybe put off a little bit. They're expecting the C push coming through. Saki is going to find an important kill on Jack and will slow down the push from EU's finest. Obey Alliance in a bad spot at the start, though. May be able to fight out from the back, but nice from EU's finest. A really good initial break.
It was a good initial break. I liked Obey. They managed to survive just long enough. EU's finest, they were pushing for those long respawns, right? They were just trying to get as much control as they could in those opening space. And they got quite a lot, but EU's finest, they did overextend there, and we have to call out their faults when we do see them. And that it was a little bit of a fault. They stayed a little bit too long. You saw Phelpsy get lanced down. We're seeing Craze now get taken down here as he's trying to fight for control over this B. And honestly, Obey, they've done well to come back into this after what was a pretty rough opening fight.
It looked like the exchange was really going to go over towards EU's finest and may still well go over towards them. Royal Guns is going to win an important gunfight. TJ finds Crimson's as well, so this is much better from Obey Alliance. And honestly, they just seem to have had the numbers over towards B and just won the gunfights. EU's Finest maybe investing a little bit much towards it, not pushing as a team in that situation, so maybe a little bit cocksure of themselves in that round. But Obey Alliance will happily welcome the B control. You can see the push coming over towards top bridge, though, so an A push is coming through from EU's Finest in just a second.
Let's have a look at what is going on over there. We do see Jack. He's going to go and gets a big kill on Breaker there. Now looking for his second, fighting TJ.
Oh.
Does get the down, looks like. Yeah, he gets the down, actually. Hydrone comes in and cleans that with him. But again, a nice take there from EU's Finest. They just push Obey off that hill. Nice focus fire as well there to take out TJ. And well, this is really good from EU's Finest.
There's one player left over towards B as well, and he's really going to have to stay alive. And thankfully for Demonic, the trains have arrived on time just to maybe slow down the push from EU's Finest, but they are going to now wrap back around and they will try and get a hold of B. They will lose it. They're quite happy to let Obey Alliance get a hold of that one, but EU's Finest now have the numbers over towards B. Demonic, you have to back down. You just have to back down here. There is nothing you can do. 3 members of EU's Finest here set up with Lancer Fire. They're going to set up and get a hold of B. Demonic just... I mean, he did well to make the decision to just try and stay alive and wait for the rest of the team to come through. He is going to find the kill on the high drone eventually with the help of TJ. The push is going to come through. Very nice from Obey Alliance this time round, though. They back on down when they need to. They invest their numbers properly. They start to get aggressive. Phelps, he is going to catch Demonic off guard, though. Breaker's going to have to back on down. They were going for that C push. They went for the C push, and they've managed to get the C push, if anything. Really nicely done. This is looking like a domination coming in from Obey Alliance, and it will be. They find the round. That's much better from them. And you just felt that they were investing their numbers correctly this time.
Yep.
It felt as if they just moved around the map maybe a little bit better than the EU's Finest, and they benefit from that. 1-0 now.
I was a little bit worried there when Demonic just uppaid the cover without checking anything and got taken out, but the rest of his team did get those kills, got control over the C, and yeah, EU's Finest, they got caught off guard there, and I like to see that from Obey. They picked their fights well, and they didn't slow down when they got that first kill. That's kind of the catalyst for it, was that first kill, managed to get it on the tracks. We saw we saw Obey just playing their life as well over on that B hill, which was good from Demonic, as he dropped back when those trains were just leaving the station. Now the flashbangs come in, both sides.
So nothing too crazy. Not to be expected in round number 1, to be fair. But either way, a good start from Obey Alliance, exactly the start they would have wanted. And it was a nicely won round in the end. You know, it wasn't like they just sat back in the 2-cap and grinded it out. They rotated very, very nicely. If you use Finest, though, you maybe look back at that one and sort of say, maybe, could we got a little bit more aggressive in some of these exchanges? Could we have went for the domination earlier? They maybe played it a little bit too safe, considering some of the advantages that they may have had, like they have right now. At the beginning of the second round, they are going to get hold of B after finding 2 kills. Obey Alliance, deja vu for them.
It is deja vu. It was exactly the same play. We saw TJ get taken out in that middle, and the problem is he's getting lanced from Hydrone over under the pavilion, as well as getting pushed by Jackfex, and he's getting flash grenaded out. So it's a super difficult situation for him to get himself out of. They're trying to replicate that by flashing out Jack, but so much damage is being putting down that in the end, TJ, he's fallen twice now in that opening segment, and that is what is opening up this B hill fight for EU's Finest. They're finding that opening kill very, very nicely in the middle.
Bit of a stalemate now, though. EU's Finest just sitting back on this 2-cap. It's all they need to do. We can see more numbers have been invested by Obey Alliance over towards B. Here comes the push. The flash comes through and will just slow down Jack to try and stop this himself. Here comes the flash back over towards Obey Alliance, though, but Jack gets caught with it, so that might slow things down, or will it, as Craze does find one. Breaker gets back into cover. B has been captured by nobody, actually, as it does get decapped by Obey Alliance, but at this moment in time, that's fine for EU's Finest. They know Obey have to make the push. The fire comes through. He gets dropped from middle from Phelps. Fantastic play by EU's Finest. Jack will quite happily go down. He'll help his team capture B. Here comes the push. Saki has to do something special. He finds himself without a head, though. Warrior Guns is going to be able to win a fight in the middle of the map, and he does actually find himself between a rock, a hard place, and an EU's Finest player, though, as he does go down. Jack, easy stuff from him, and EU's Finest just worked the numbers there. Fantastically played.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit over zealous there by Obeyers. They pushed in 1v3 really to try and stop that decap, and they were trying to trade out basically. But honestly, it might have been better just to regroup with your team over at your home hill and try again later. That said, let's have a look at this this 4-person push up top now. Flash grenades are going to come down. Hydron tries to get one, misses that first shot. He has got teammates in tow, though. The A-Hill is going to get defended. It looks like TJ Breaker both getting kills himself. Demonic opening up now, and Obey. They look a lot better in this fight, and I like the aggression that I'm seeing from them. This is much more like their game against Rated R. They're managing to take the fight here to EU's finest. And now it's all about this B-Hill.
TJ's the important player here. If he can get behind and get aggressive, then maybe something can happen. But Craze is going to win his gunfight. So patient there with the Nasher. TJ needs to go big. He's going to take some shots. They're just going to back on down. Here comes Saki, though. Could this be it for them? They haven't captured A, though, and it's just not going to be enough. Swarm are going to eliminate after winning every single gunfight on the second time of asking. And EU's finest will get on the board. A little bit of a threat from Obey there, but maybe it was just a little bit too late. I think if they're in a position where they do that maybe 20 seconds earlier, then yeah, great. But I think it was just a little bit too little too late, and you're having to force to rush for that domination come through.
They've also got to time it a little bit better there.
Yeah.
TJ came in a little bit late, and he basically, you know, his teammate, whoever it was on the B hill, they got left in a 1v2 situation for just a little bit too long, and perhaps whoever pushed in there, I didn't get the name, but they maybe should have just delayed a little bit, because you know, you have seconds to play with, and if you can fight for a 2v1 with 6 seconds remaining versus a 1v2 with 8, maybe you just give those 2 seconds a few seconds and you go in for that 2v2. We'll see if they can come back there, because it is still 1-1. We've got to remember, sorry, 2-1. 1-1? 2-1? 1-1 as we get into the third round. I was very confused myself. I could have sworn we had a
Numbers
third
are
round.
hard, mate. Yeah, I know.
Especially at this low level, right?
This low level. There's literally been 2 rounds.
Oh, dear.
Well, the drop shot has now been placed, and TJ will pick that one up and find a kill onto Jack Vex, and that has been placed in the middle once again. EU's finest continuing to throw curveballs at Obey Alliance, and they ain't catching them. Or hitting them. Curveball's more of it's a baseball thing, isn't it? Sorry, you know, we didn't even catch the drop shot. You were talking about rounds 1, 2, and 3 here.
Drop shots here, we got it.
The drop shot's in. The drop shot's
Wow.
in. Your maths
We're having a
put
good
me
round.
off.
Maths, that's the problem, there was none.
Yeah, there was none.
There
Indeed.
was none.
No observation either, clearly.
No, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
You threw me off. Either way, Obey Alliance aren't going to manage to get a hold of B here, but they have lost the drop shot.
I'm sorry.
In the process, mate. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Hydron is going to go down though. So for all that they did lose control of the drop shot, I tell you what though, that might cause some damage. It has not. TJ not able to do much with it on this side of things. It's a good start from Obey Alliance. Happy to get things done here. They've got control of B. They have the drop shot. Haven't really invested it wisely, but the threat is enough to keep EU's finest away. And that's why they've got a hold of B. Nicely done by Obey.
Yeah, they are. The first time they've got a point lead off this opening start, really, in these 3 rounds. And maybe the drop shot should have been placed slightly to the left and let his teammate clean up the down. But either way, they've forced off that push from EU's finest. They've still got control over B, and they've used it to decent use. I think they've still got control here, and that's, you know, ultimately the goal, right? Is to keep that control. So 47 seconds on the clock, and now it's up to EU's finest to work out this plan. How did they respond? How do they push in at these these later seconds? It looks like they're got a bit of an angle down here onto Breaker. Jack pushing up to try and get the kill. Does get taken very, very red. Demonic had the Lancer angle there. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. We do get a traded down, so Hydra goes down, Breaker goes down. We do see Jack manage to clean up that kill. He's going to get the revive as well, but Saki and Demonic both get 2 for themselves. So that's a great kill there by Jack, actually.
Is it going to be enough, though? I don't feel as if it is. Teacher's actually going to go down to the trains. Cog team will win under this condition. It has to be a domination coming through here from EU's finest, and there just is not enough time. C needs to go massive over towards C here. Demonic really, he actually needs to win this gunfight. They have managed to decap this one, so Swarm can win. Demonic is going to win the gunfight, though. Important for him. He will find Crimsons. This should be the round now over towards Obey Alliance, who will take the lead once again. 2-1 now. A lot better showing than I thought we'd see. It has to be said. They're just, I mean, I don't want to say outslaying, but they're winning the important gunfights where they need to, and that's really putting them in a good position to win these rounds. 2-1 now. Their turn to pick something. Are they going to just throw it down on their side of things? Yep. Nothing too crazy here. And just looking, actually, so...
It looks like it was EU's finest that put the drop shot down.
It was, okay.
We see Obey Alliance. They've got 90 seconds, so they've got that quicker respawn. No, sorry, the opposite way around. My bad. It was EU's finest that placed the shock.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because they had the shocks on their side, so it must have actually been Obey. Sort of said, well, if you want to play this game...
Yeah, we'll respond and do the same thing. Let's see how you like it on your map.
And the shocks didn't work out. for EU's Finest in that previous round, clearly. Not working out. And
should we see what they're doing with it?
Yeah, let's see. I can imagine it's just going to go over towards the drop shot. I mean, that would make sense.
Let's have a look. Looks like... What have we got up here?
Stop seeing Kodo putting the Lancer Fire in. That's a lot of Lancer Fire coming through. And that's because the shot grenade just doesn't come through that quick. I think if you're TJ there, you're making that push on the presumption that the shot grenade's going to go over towards stairs and shut down this Lancer Fire coming through. But the aggressive player coming out of Phelpsy now as he pushes forward. He's not going to be able to quite get a hold of it. Lots of shots coming in from mid-map, but I think that's from Breaker and Co. And that's just going to allow things to maybe go in AOB Alliance's favor. It felt like it would. But as EU's Finest do, sometimes they just find a will and find a way to shut down something coming out of AOB Alliance. And they will actually find a kill there. Warrior Guns picking up a weak Jack Vex. On the back of all this, though, B has went over towards AOB Alliance, but the tools are with EU's Finest to try and fight back.
Both teams as well not opting to take their home hill. They're going to get it off that respawn. So this is the first hill to go down for the first time in this map as well. It was a good fight there by EU's Finest to get that drop shot out alive. They have got that to work with.
They invested a lot into it.
They
has
did.
To be said.
They did. And if they can use this to good effect, which it looks like so far they haven't, they may be able to get this B hill back. And they really have to force Obey out of this middle channel right now. You see Breaker backing up a little bit there, so he knows there's that threat there. He knows that there is a possibility of getting double drop shotted, and you don't want that to happen. So he's gonna just kind of leave it here, trying to have a little scout around. Let's see what else we can find. As Demonic looks to have an angle through the mid. It's Warrior Gun sat in the middle there. That's what I was trying to find who was sat down there. So potentially the sacrificial lamb if this drop shot does come through. We've seen it last time against our damage actually, that they put the drop shot through the window. But it looks like the push is now coming across the train tracks.
Saki is going to go down from the Lancer Fire. Is his teammate going to get there in time? Yes, he is. Saki's going to get back up, but will be put down instantly. They don't even need the drop shot in the end. Fantastic play from EU's Finest. Just get things done. Lancer Fire and Nash are all coming through very effectively. Now, if you're TJ, you are pushing over towards C. You have your teammate with you. But really, this is not a spot you want to be in. They've got members of EU's Finest pushing from two different angles. TJ has to go massive here. The rest of the team are coming up off spawn, though. And if you're EU's Finest, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them back on down here. They quite often do this. They get aggressive. If they can't take the advantage, they're back on down. This time round, though, they have not. Phelpsy and Hydro working well together. Warrior Guns goes down. The domination may well come through here. Breaker tries to make a push, as does Saki. They both die. And EU's Finest find themselves back into this game. Trading blows here through.
That they are. Back and forth, back and forth. We see Obey, though. They did get that first win on the board, so see if they can carry on the pattern and win this next one. So we do go into this fifth round. Interesting to see what the weapon placements will be here. It looks like Obey, they've just been kind of building up their home. As we see EU's Finest, they are splitting those grenades across both tracks and their admin side, so we'll see how that goes first. They obviously get that first pick, being the winning team there. So Incendiary is going to go down on the track side. Smoke grenade there as the reply. So kind of interesting here that we are seeing EU's Finest just say, okay, well, we're happy just to keep this advantage now. We've seen Obey use a placement in that middle, and now EU's Finest, they actually have the advantage on their home hills, on their home placements. So that's kind of interesting.
So they're probably going to try and use that to get a hold of the drop shot, are they? Oh, how that was... if you're TJ, you're really not in a good spot there and has not played that well. Jackflex is going to go down from some fire, it looks like from mid-map. It's up to EU's Finest now to try and win a couple of these gunfights, because they do have drop shot control here if they want it. Saki is going to find Crimson's, as does Breaker, clean that one up. But look at this top control from EU's Finest. They're quite happy to allow a couple of gunfights to go over towards the enemy team in the mid-map. Jackflex is going to go down once again. One more time and he will be dropped, and he does have that drop shot in hand. Oh, it's not a great use either. Crimson's and Cole going to have to try and do the work for him to back on down. And he is going to have to back on down. Obey Alliance with a really good start once again. Not the same efficiency we see from EU's Finest in the first map, but can he answer back with something here? Absolutely not. Jackvex not quite using that drop shot to effective use. But the kills are coming through for EU's Finest here. They are going to get control of up top mid, but they have control of very little else.
Yeah, little else it is, and they have got a bit of a point deficit as well. We're seeing about a 40-point lead here for Obey. They did get control of this B side. Hydrone, he's having a look now. Has got a bit of backup in Crimson's, and they are flying across this top track side as they're trying to get a bit of control over this area here. Just going to back off for a few seconds just to, I guess, get the lay of the land, find out where the opposition is. The trains are going to come in a second as well, so We see players start to reposition here. It's just the one train this time, so shouldn't affect the fight too much. Let's have a look at Bridgeside. Bridgeside, nothing real happening. Phelpsy and Warrior Guns just kind of posturing, just keeping an eye on one another. Do you see the flash grenade go down?
And it's just a bit of a stalemate here, isn't it? It's about EU's Finest just trying to find a crack in the defense of Obey Alliance here. It's difficult for them to do so. Obey set up much nicer than we seen them really get set up in the first
Saki's going to be the play.
Yeah, I think that is going to be it. They're going to point them out. The Lancer Fire comes through. Here comes the push. Saki will do well to survive. Never mind find anything. He is actually going to trade, so he'll take that one. Demonic is going to get a hold of the Shock Star. Will they come into play for the rest of this round? Cog Team with the win condition. That will change in a second, you feel, though, as EU's Finest do make this push over towards B. They are behind, but they should be able to be in the win condition of B. Not quite. One hill is just about enough for Obey Alliance, so they've ticked the time down just long enough, as said. But EU's Finest making a lot of push and noise over towards this top side. That's because the drop shot's there. That could be the catalyst to get them into this round. They need at least a decap to win it.
They do indeed. They're a long way behind at this point, and they need to get hold of this A hill. You would imagine this push is going to be across this top bridge, using that drop shot to kind of clear a path through.
Well, here we go.
What we can see.
Saki is going to find a kill on the Craze, though. That looked like it was in the mid map, and it's just going to be a back off. If anything, from TJ. He backs off. The rest of his team come through the back. Jackvex has to go massive. It's not going to happen. Saki is actually going to take Crimson down with the train. Not sure how that happened. I presume just an assist going to come through. Not quite enough, though. And Demonic and Co. will grind that round out once again. 3-2. He's got a little bit scary, but I think the fact that Saki wins the gunfight in the mid-map is so important, because if they get flanked, then you're in a bad spot. But really big gunfights to be won from Saki finds them. 3-2 to Obey Alliance now. Continue to trade blows here through. Seeing a lot better play here from Obey, though, has to be said.
It is a lot better. I'm, questioning Crimson's involvement in a lot of this at the moment. In the loss against Rated R.
Good lord, I just noticed that.
Yeah, we called him. We called him out in the loss against Rated R for the same situation, just not being really involved in anything so far. Not dying too much either. It's just he's not really getting those shots in when they're needed. That said, though, let's have a look at the overhead map, see if anything has changed. We have got a boom shot down on the bottom side here for EU's Finest, so that's definitely a change. Incendiaries going down in the way of Obey Alliance.
Well, let's see. What can EU's Finest get done with this little bit of an
Headshot there
advantage?
by TJ.
TJ is going to take down Hydro. The headshot with the drop shot. Nicely done. And that is going to give them that little bit of an advantage over towards top bridge side, but they choose to invest everything over towards B. They have a hold of C. EU's Finest yet to capture their home hill. Don't really want to make that push. I think they're worried about the drop shot being there and the control being there as well for Obey Alliance up top. Breaker now has cover. And if you are Phelpsy with the drop shot, you maybe have to invest this over towards B. TJ is here with the drop shot. Phelpsy with the boom. It's going to be a big gunfight here, though. The train does come through. Must be them new silent trains. Didn't make a single bit of noise, yeah. TJ, though, this is the important play. He's the one that needs to stay alive for Obey Alliance. On the other side of things, though, it is going to be Phelpsy with this boom shot. And this is probably what's going to determine this round. Phelpsy's going to make the push through. The boom shot is going to come on to Saki, though. And the rest of EU's Finest will now make their move. It's down to TJ, though. Can he answer in turn with a big drop shot play here? Flashed out, and he is going to get pushed away. Perfect timing on that flash, and TJ has to back on down. Just about survives, but not for long. Is going to get dropped by Hydro. Nobody here to pick him up, or is there? Saki there now. It's just about going to get him out. TJ goes down once again. He really needs to get his teammate up, and they need to survive here. TJ is going to get taken down by Crimson's. Perfectly played by EU's Finest. Are you likely to see a better time flash than that?
It was perfect. You saw TJ just try and get that drop shot over the cover. Didn't manage to get it because that flash was pinpoint. It was exactly where it needed to be, exactly at the right time. And yeah, in the end, it cost TJ his life, right? It was that good of a flash. Talking about lives, we do see Crimson go down. He's going to get taken out. Craze managed to back off. Hydro is there for a little bit of support. Things are just going to go kind of back to even again. Swarm will win this time in 60 seconds, so 1 minute on the go, but the decap is there. Very, very quick decap there from Obey, and I like what I'm seeing. Train's going to come through both sides this time.
TJ might survive just because of that as well. The cover's going to come through on both sides, so he will be able to back on down. Breaker's going to get a hold of the drop shot as well. And this is actually the COG team in a good position. If you're Obey Alliance, you're in the win condition here. Jack's actually going to go down to the what I presume was the train or something, though. But either way, 3 members of EU's Finest now going down. Obey Alliance, though, are going down themselves. So trades coming through. Breaker, can he find anything here with the drop shot? Finds Hydro, and the push will now come through towards B. And once again, it is Obey Alliance's win condition. This is their chance now to get themselves in a good spot in this game. 3-2 up. It's looking like it could be 4. And eventually they could extend that to a 2-round lead. Drop shot was used well by Obey Alliance. The boom shot finds 1. If you're EU's Finance, but it's not going to happen surely for them. This is a big round for Obey Alliance. They should be able to win this one. They are going to win this one. 4-2 now. Good work from Obey Alliance. Grounded that one out once again, but eventually do get that 2-round lead.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here from Obey. They're getting that drop shot out very, very quickly. And they just managed to take that round and just slow everything down once again. They managed to do it last week, against Rated R. They just managed to keep control of the map, basically, keep control of the weapons and not use them too brashly. We saw in their game against our damage that they kind of wasted their power weapons a little bit. This time around, they're using them to much better effect. Again, another nice play here in the middle. They've managed to get her down. If they can clean up her down, this would be big. See, Jack actually managed to just crawl down, just gets down just in time, and a boom shot comes out from Phelpsy. A double kill it is. That takes out the drop shot as well, and this is huge for EU's Finest. They are going to push on. They're going to pick up that drop shot. Assuming it is on the floor. Yes, Phelpsy has picked up the drop shot now, so drop shot in their hands. Trying to find final member of Obey, Warrior Guns. He managed to keep himself alive. That's good play. It's better play from Warrior Guns. It means that Obey, they can attack back now with all 5 members up. They have got to be careful, though. This drop shot may come in soon.
You feel as if it will, but that's massive play out of Hydron. Finding 2 up there. Oh, and he might find 2 with the drop as well. Phelpsy is just about going to find the 1. It was looking like it was going to be 2 there with the drop shot. He must have just got round the corner and away. But the bait comes through with the down player and they nearly find it. But either way, EU's Finest playing well in this round so far. Warrior Gun's now going to make the push forward. Can't quite cap from this position and will be shot away. Trying just to get something done on the decap side of things, but has to be careful. Maybe just trying to bait out that drop shot, I want to say, but that's already been taken. Warrior Guns getting aggressive. It is going to go down. Phelpsy's going to find the kill on Demonic and then onto Warrior Guns. Nicely played by him. Can he find a 3rd? He may need to, actually. If they want to keep a hold of this middle hill over towards E. Of course, we have reset the points now up towards up top. Crazed will find 2, though, and that will allow EU's Finest to finally make their push.
That they did. It was a hard-fought push, but they got there in the end. They will win in about 45 seconds if rings stay this way. Obviously, Obey, they're going to be back on their feet in just a couple of seconds, so expect them to come in with a new push. Let's have a look on the mini-map. Let's see what we can find. 11 seconds here on the shot grenade, 10 seconds on the shock, 10 seconds on the incendiary, 40 on the boom shot. So they are going to have a slight advantage. Just about 30 seconds of advantage if they can last that long. That's the question.
If EU's Finest are just going to back on down, they're probably just going to wait for the boom shot. It makes perfect sense, but they are just about going to stay alive in this situation, though. It's only going to be Warrior Guns that does go down momentarily. All 5 members of EU's Finest stayed up, so Breaker is going to get a hold of this drop shot. And that's where the play is going to happen if you are Obey Alliance.
Yeah,
Swarm's still winning here off the 1 cap. So the push does actually have to come through from Obey Alliance. Warrior Guns and Demonic, though, getting things done. They will keep continuously dropping Jack and now Phelpsy. Everybody picking everybody up here. Crimson's now is going to find a kill on the Warrior Guns. Phelpsy just trying to get aggressive, trying to shut down this push. Saki is going to find him. And if you're EU's Finest, have you extended to the other side to shut it down? You don't need to as the kills start to come through. You will get a hold of it. You will get a hold of the round. EU's Finest back into this one now. TJ will do well to do anything with the boom shot from there. I respect the effort, but 4-3 is now the score to EU's Finest.
Tell you what, if he'd have hit that boom shot, that would have been the best boom shot Gears 5 period. No one could have topped that. Last second place to win the round.
There.
Yep, that would have been it. Obey win. But but no, EU's Finest, they did have a good hold there.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the EU Pro League. My name is Tony. I'm here with Fru, and we were rudely interrupted by a disconnection. So we are having to load back into the map, and we are most of the way through. We're nearly there. We're nearly there in terms of placement. We've got 2 more rounds to go, so the guys are just running through once again. So the weapon placements are exactly the same, etc., etc., etc. And then we're going to be back at 5-5. Very evenly poised, not many rounds to go, and it's really needed from Obey Alliance here, though, isn't it? EU's Finest 1-0 up in the series. Could close it out here.
Yeah, I mean, who'd have thought it, right? After a bit of a slapper of a first map, they come back and they're giving us a fantastic show here on Asylum. 5-5. They've been playing around with the weapon placements a little bit. Yeah. They've had triple kills. They've had team kills. It's just an exciting game to watch, to be honest with you. And yeah, I hope this goes to round 13. I really do. And
it's been a bit of a grind, hasn't it? I think, both two teams just taking their advantages where they needed to. It hasn't necessarily been one of these things where, it's been just high slaying and somebody just winning that one gunfight. I think it's just been a case of, getting to the point of where you will have that 2-cup. You're using that advantage to win the rounds, and that's exactly what OB Alliance have been doing a lot better in this game. Overall, though, it's just been 100% better from them than we've seen in map number 1, where they really weren't at the races at all. No. They looked poor, if anything, in map number 1.
Yeah, they did. They honestly did. And honestly, they got outplayed across the board, both on a slaying wise, on a picks and bans wise. They got baited into picking their own map, and then obviously EU's Finest had a very interesting strategy for that map, and honestly they played it well. We can't take away from EU's Finest. They did play that very, very well, and I liked what I saw from them there.
Yeah, a lot better from them on Bunker, and I think that will probably put a little few things in the mixer with pick and bans as we do now go on, which I'm sure we'll find out from next week. We are into the final round of teams getting caught back up, so we'll be starting within the next 30 to 40 seconds, I'd imagine. But yeah, it's been an interesting game so far. We're going to jump back into it very, very shortly, and pretty much now. Actually, I think we're pretty much ready to go in. So 3 more rounds to go between these two. We are going back in at 5 apiece. Final weapon placements now coming through, and they will reflect what we've seen first time round as well. And what's the predictions? You were saying you think OB Alliance might be able to take this, but
we got to have a look at how things sit on the map right now, right? We've seen that drop shot placed up top from OB. We can see right there that the shot grenades on EU's Finest sides, they're blocked out, so they're not going to be able to use those in that top fight. OB, they do have a shot grenade, so this should be a free pick. What we saw previously from EU's Finest is that they tried to push heavy, and it looks like they're going to be doing the same thing again. They're going to rotate that boom shot around to the drop shot. Looks like OB, though, they've already got this drop shot out and gone. So that's actually really nicely played there by OB. They recognized exactly what happened the previous round. They got boom shotted, right? They had to use that second person to pick up the drop shot. This time around, they delayed a bit, but oh, there goes the boom shot again.
That's a boom shot onto TJ, who had the drop shot as well. Massive plays out of Phelpsy, and that might just be an important kill coming in from Hydro. Fantastic play out of him. He takes him down, and now the drop shot's not in play. Everything that OB Alliance had played for at the beginning of that round disappears so fast.
But you've got to know that's coming, right? If you're OB, you have to respect that there is that boom shot on the map.
Why is TJ so far forward with the drop shot? Yeah,
it's a long-range weapon. You don't need to have sight lines to use it. Yet he's sat up top, and his teammates let him sit there. And that for me it's a misplay that could have cost them this map.
Could cost them the map. Could cost them the series. And now in a disadvantageous position. It is EU's Finest with the 2-cap currently. Crimson's probably going to get pushed out. May well get dropped here, but does get some cover eventually and will survive. Here comes the push from OB Alliance. Something a little bit different. It looks like a home hill push if they can get it. But if EU's Finest, they just back up and Lancer. Back up and Lancer. Nothing too crazy. They now have their boom shot as well. They have control of up top ridge, so when that drop shot comes back up, which it will do relatively shortly, they're in a good spot to do something with it. Crimson's comes in, takes down Demonic. This will now allow them to try and push back up towards E very, very quickly, but that shot grenade was well placed by OB. But here comes the push from EU's Finest, but they still need to win the gunfights. Warrior Guns is can eventually find Hydro, and they may actually have to back off here, or do they just continue to get aggressive? 4 members of OB Alliance here, and they will capture E back.
They've got the numbers. You've got to ask the question, where are they losing on the map, though? Because they had a member down, right? They had a member killed by that boom shot on Crimson's. He's back up on the map now, and it looks like OB, they've done enough here just to get hold of the E-hill. Cog, they will win in 59 seconds, so Swarm, they need a break. They're going to try and break this E-hill. The shot grenade is there. If they can get the shot grenade in quick, they might be able to get a couple of kills. It looks like it's going to be on Crimson's. Crimson's backs out. Just get the down on Phelps. Can they clean it up, though? That's the question. They've got the drop shot. This should be a clean. Drop shot not used to it. All that good a use, to be quite honest with you. They're just trying to delay some time here.
I don't think it matters so much from OB Alliance right now. They're finding the kills. They're finding what they need to. They are keeping EU's Finest away.
Just 1 shot left.
The drop shot's still available. That should find Hydro and will do. And just shutting down the pressure where they need to. Cog team now wins in 25 seconds. Set up nicely here. Demonic needs to win a couple of gunfights here. He's just going to back on down.
Phelps just picked up that boom as well.
Boom shot available for Phelpsy. This is what's going to make up Breaker. Let's go on board with Phelpsy, see where he is. Where does Phelpsy move to? It's got to be up top. His teammates in front of him. Here comes the boom. Blind through the smoke and finds 2. That might just be it for EU's Finest. They will now win in 6. It's a blind smoke boom shot that will eventually win this round for EU's Finest. It's a ballsy play and they come out on top 6-5 now. They're 1 round away.
1 round away it is. That was a fantastic boom shot. He saw where the shots were coming through the smoke. That's how he lined up that shot. He didn't have a mark. He didn't have visuals, but he saw the pellets coming through the smoke and used it with his map knowledge. Take out 2 members of Obey right there. And, well, you got to respect the boom shot. We said it before, right? You have to respect that boom shot. And honestly, the best thing they could have done there was push towards it. If they back off, they're either gonna they're gonna let that ring go anyway, which is an issue. They needed to buy as much time as possible, and to buy that time, they had to go in. They had to push the boom shot. They didn't. EU's Finest clutched up once again, and now their match point, series point. Here we go. Let's have a look what's going on. Shot grenades back up for EU's Finest this time around. Boom shot off the map for Obey. So this is huge power play for EU's Finest.
EU's Finest now in a good spot, but here come those grenades over the top. Phelpsy now gonna have to back on down, and you feel as if that's probably going to be actually drop shot this time over towards Hydro, and he slipped the net. He's killed Warrior Guns. They're now in a really good spot here. EU's Finest, Obey Alliance since the break just seemed to be faltering. They were hitting everything right to find themselves in a good position against EU's Finest, but right now they have been pinned back. Crimson's just trying to stay alive. Breaker putting shots down from mid-map, but has to be careful as he will have some pressure over towards track side from EU's Finest. Crimson is going to capture E with the help of his teammates, and he's going to get it out. Great work from EU's Finest. They have the power weapons, they have control, and Break has just been run over by a train. Crimson's going to have to back on down because of that flash, but they've got the power weapons to try and get this one back. Not good use of it there so far, though, as an explosion comes through the right-hand side.
Still got the boom shot, though.
Boom shot here for Crimson's, finds TJ. EU's Finest just doing exactly what they need to do. It's a tug of war going on up top of Eddie here, but you're putting your hands out there. Why is Sagi even bothered?
Exactly. That's the question you got to ask, right? You have to start to try and draw the map out right now. You've got to get across the other side, get their home hill, stop them gaining this point advantage, and running at 3 members ain't gonna do that. They're gonna be much more careful. Second boom shot up now for Hydron. Shot grenade as well. This is gonna be a hard push for Obey. They've got to get there first, basically. They've got to get this decap. The shot is gonna go down. Boom shot comes in. The boom shot does get taken down. Actually, Hydron is gonna fall, but he's gonna get put into a DBNO state. Crimson's now getting shot away with his pistol. Breaker's doing a lot of damage, but Breaker, he's getting it back as well. He falls to about 30% health. Hydron gonna clean that up.
No capture quite yet for Obey Alliance. They're just trying to push that one up right now. It's still EU's Finest with the win condition. Still quite a while to go for it, though, but the kills start to come through for EU's Finest once again. Can they clean up shop? Demonic does actually find 2, albeit just 1 being it down. Phelpsy's going to find 1 at Demonic as well. Here comes the flash. Here comes the push from TJ. He also has Warrior Guns with him, who's going to find Jack Vex, and they will eventually get a hold of E. And this should be win condition over towards the COG team. 60 seconds to go. Obey Alliance eventually break that E hill. Warrior Guns will get the drop shot as well and will get out. Massive play out of Obey Alliance. That flash was so crucial.
It was crucial. It was on point. They managed to get those 2 kills out. They've taken the power weapon out, and now they have that advantage. The problem is, we see EU's Finest, they're making headway around the tracks. They have, well, they're going to have a boom shot as well. Let's have a look. Just 2 seconds on that spawn. You see the member waiting for it. So now, boom shot versus drop shot for the round. This is pretty much what it comes down to.
Can Obey Alliance do what they have not been able to do? Can they use this drop shot effectively?
It's in Warrior Guns' hand. He's got to find that answer right now. He's aiming up the first shot, does put one out, misses the first shot. Hydron's going to get taken to quite low down, but doesn't get killed in the end. Second shot does come out. 11 seconds on the clock, 10 seconds on the clock. Now, let's see what EU's Finest can do.
E is being decapped. These are massive gunfights for Obey to win. They're going to win them all, and we are going to a very final round. Crazed actually, he's managed to break it. Can he do anything here? Not quite, but surely. Here we go. All the way now to round number 13.
And you've got to think, if you're Obey, this should have been closed and out by now. They had that round. They let it slip from their hands, and now they're up at round 13 against EU's Finest. And this, well, this is where champions are made. They've got to go through. They've got to play their best Gears of War that they've played all night, because this is where EU's Finest usually shine.
It's going to be a COD loadout. COD loadout coming in. It looks like it. Come on, do me a favor. I know. God, yeah, wrong game.
It is.
Right. Let's see what else is going to be changed around here. Honestly, I think
Boom shot's back on the field.
Boom shot is now back for OB Alliance.
Shock's down to 60 seconds.
It's pretty much even across the board. So what do you do? If you're
Go snipe? Yep, I was...
All right.
I was thinking, the only thing you can do if you're losing that drop shot, take a snap to the other end, you've got a full sight line all the way down. If you can get to that before the drop shot can get picked up, then maybe you have a chance of taking that headshot. But let's see what happens.
Where do you choose to invest? Boom
Overhead
shots.
Obey. They look to have invested on this. That's not a word. Invested on this bridge.
Drop shot is now available. Can they use it to good effect this time round? TJ's been dropped once again, so he's already been dropped twice with that boom shot in hand. Crazed now does have that long shot as well. Breaker's going to find a kill onto Crazed. Is going to go down though after finding the one with the boom shot. Saki just trying to get aggressive here. He's going to get taken down. E's finest. They may not have E, but they found the kills. They have map control, and they will make a push over towards the mid-map.
Is that push coming up? First drop shot used didn't connect there.
They just about concede there. Warrior Gun sends it in. Is going to find Hydron, but what else is there? He needed more than one kill there, though, really.
There was a very, very weak Phelpsy, but they just didn't manage to get out there in time and get the kill. That said, though, the flash grenades come in on EU's finest. They're respecting this push from Obey, and you have to at this point. They've been matching you all the way. The flash just come back, though, and Demonic, he's going to get taken down. That's the difference. Saki managed to get it down. Craze gets the kill on Demonic.
Should be a break. Well use of the smokes here from EU's finest. They will get a hold of it. But Breaker, it's a phenomenal shot grenade that's going to come in. They should be able to clean this up as well. They have lost the point, but it might be enough for OB Alliance to get it back. A war of attrition going on here up top. Breaker's going to take down Jack as well.
Technical mistake there from Jack as well. He put himself over the top of the cover, and that just opened up that kill there for Obey. This is great play by Obey. Crimson's, though, he has the snipe. This is where he can make his mark. If you manage to get one headshot, that could open up the entire map. So let's keep an eye on what he's doing with it. There's the aim. You see him aiming. He's just waiting for that player to pop his head up.
More shots going in up top over towards Z, but it is going to come down to Crim to see if he can do anything. TJ finds the kill onto Hydron. Phelpsy now trades that away and takes down Saki. What can Crimsons do here? He really hasn't had a good map. He's going to be pushed by Demonic. It's a huge kill. Can go through, and it's going to be Demonic. Can he come in with a flank? Finds a second as well. Can he find the third to maybe wrap it up for OB? He does go down, but is the damage already done? Phelpsy will be picked back up, but the push is shut down momentarily. Here comes the smoke. If you're EU's finest, you have to go. There isn't that much time. Hydron's going to find the kill at TJ. This is a two-man push. Hydron's just still going. He finds three as well. Could that be it? Warrior Guns is the last one alive momentarily. He will have to back on down. But Hydron runs straight through the middle of the smoke and finds 3 kills onto OB Alliance. It's a swarm win condition currently.
It is indeed. That was the game-making play right there. We do see Warrior Guns. He did manage to get out with that drop shot, but couldn't connect with a shot. And Hydron, he just shut them down. He just shut them down on his own. Drop shot coming out.
Is going to find a kill. Crimson's is actually going to get a hold of the boom as well. Jack did find one on a TJ, and it's a phenomenal... It looked like a phenomenal shot grenade coming through from Hydro, and he's dropped them down. Everybody from OB Alliance seeming to drop. Warrior Guns now last alive. He has to go massive Hydro and pushing like we just seen him push before through the smoke. Warrior Guns goes down. It will take a small miracle for OB Alliance to come back into this one. TJ's actually managed to break on through. I don't think it'll be enough to do anything in EU's finest. They come up clutch once again. 7-6, and it has to be through Hydro and finding those 3 kills over towards Stairs. The fantastic shot grenade comes through as well. Shut down that retake from OB Alliance. 7-6 in the end to EU's finest, who will win the series 2-0.
What a fantastic way.
It's hard to break it down. There was so much going on. I wasn't even sure whose shot grenade it was. It got a team kill. It looked like, was it, or was it?
It was a team down. He threw it on his down teammate. So as they went to pick up that revive, it managed to get it down. The second player came in as well and ran into it, and well, that was it. You saw the end result, right? But what a fantastic way to end the game. Trading back and forth. So many drop shots. So many amazing plays. Bit of a shame the snipe didn't come into play too much, but honestly, after all that action, I don't think we could have coped with much more.
No.
Well, yeah, props to EU's finest coming out with a very clutch victory there.
EU's finest get it done in 2. Albeit after the first map, we expected a much similar asylum. It has to be said.
Yeah.
But EU's finest were pushed right to the brink in this one. Obey will be disappointed with that, though. They had a couple of chances to maybe do it. It was that just tug of war up top, and just the last one that meant something went over towards EU's finest, and it has to be because of the Hydra and 3-piece. That was phenomenal from him.
It is exactly that, and they let it happen, right? Obey. They were they were so focused on the hill that they didn't pick up Hydra and just running through their ranks. And yeah, in the end, what a fantastic play to finish him out.
He just said, screw it, run straight through the smoke and just kills 3 of them. Phenomenal play out of Hydra. Keep an eye on the top 5 players because that one's initially making it in at number 1. Phenomenal players, unless something crazy can happen from our damage and rated R.
And also on the other side as well, we saw, was it Demonic coming around the back of EU's finest in the same round and almost picking his own triple up as well?
It has to be said that it was a game of small differences all the way through, and it exploded into the final round though. Things just started to go a little bit crazy, but
fantastic.
Wow, we've got another game to go still. We actually do still have our damage against rated R.
We thought that was going to be the spicier one out of the 2.
Yeah, in the end, the second map between EU's finest and Obey, fantastic. If you didn't miss any of it, go through and do catch that on the VOD. But we are going to go for a very, very short break, and we will be back with map number 2, game number 2, I should say, after that quick break.